Hi guys, I'm Ajinkya Dikshit and this is my channel Ajinkst Artist. In today's video, I'm showing you how to create custom bokeh brushes in Photoshop. So the first step, we have to duplicate the base layer, the background layer into layer 1. The shortcut is Ctrl J. You need to know all your shortcuts before you start getting used to Photoshop. The next step is we go to magic wand tool or the brush select tool, and then we select our subject, the option in top center. With the brush select tool, we can further enhance our selection. The next step we do is create a mask with the selection and then isolate our subject in it. We make another copy of it, of the background layer, so that we can see where we are missing out with our selection. I then select the matte, the layer mask, then select the brush and we start editing further the selection that we have made. So it's always rough around the edges with the selection, so we have to go in and smooth out the outline. In previous versions of Photoshop there was a refine edge option, but I couldn't find it in this version. If you guys know where it is, please let me know in the comments below. Photoshop AI does a decent job with the selection, but we have to always go in and enhance it further. Now I've kept the selection by pressing Ctrl and clicking on the layer mask. Then I go to edit, select the base layer, and there is content aware fill. With the content aware we can erase our subject from the image. Anything that we have selected can be merged using this tool. The shortcut to this is Shift F5. As you can see here, our selection has completely merged in, and now we have managed to separate our subject from the background. This is a very important step if you want to further blur out the background entirely. If you keep the subject in the base layer, then the edges also get blurred and you start seeing that in the final image. So it's always better to remove your subject from the base layer. This step is not important, but you can use the clone stamp tool to further edit whatever the content aware tool has done. Now we can go to blur gallery and select field blur. With field blur you get options to blur out more or less in certain parts of the image. So with this pin I can blur out a particular area and click again and create another pin and blur out a separate area with different amount of blur to it. This step depends on your image entirely, how further away the subject is from the background or how much blur do you want to apply to the final image. This depends completely on your liking, so make sure you do it right and follow your gut to keep it natural. I'm happy with this, so we'll continue. After blurring out the background, we can see here there are some parts of the background still visible on the subject, so we have to go in further again and using the brush tool remove anything that is separating the subject from the background and making it look a bit unnatural. Now I'm creating a new layer, and on this layer I'm using the brush. The default brush is good to start with. Now we have to create a shape, sort of an orb looking shape. It can be anything. There's no specific guidelines to it. If you go on Google and find bokeh images, you can see there is some texture to the circles, the bokeh circles that we find naturally. So I'm trying to create that here. You can just create a circular shape, give it some sort of opacity, transparency to the center, because it's never the same gradient throughout the bokeh circle. And as you may know, bokeh is not in a perfect circle, so you can try other shapes as well. Once you are happy with whatever you've created, go and select the layer by pressing Ctrl and clicking on the layer icon. That way it makes a selection. Further, you can go to edit and select define brush preset, and our brush is created. Now we create a new layer and we further edit the brush settings. We need some size variation and it has to fade out gradually like a stroke. It's not important, but if we use a pen tab, this step is there by default, so we can mimic this here. Angle jitter and roundness can also be tweaked here. Here we select fade instead of pen pressure because we are using a mouse. Secondly, we select the scattering. We don't want all the brush strokes to emit from the same source or at the same point, so we scatter the brush a bit and then we select transparency. With transparency as well, we don't want all of the brush strokes to be of the same opacity, so we add some opacity jitter. After you're done, you can go to the top right corner and save the brush preset as a new preset. I have a few here, so let's try them. Now we have to select the color which is there in the background, the brighter colors, and then further take it up towards white. But this way it won't work, so we have to reduce the opacity and try again. Voila, bokeh is ready. The way I see it is we need to apply the bokeh around the brighter parts of the image. Wherever there is light, I guess light emits bokeh and lens blur enhances it. So what we have done here is try to mimic what we find naturally. I have a few other brushes that we can try, so let's try those, but we have to apply the same settings again. So it's a good recap for you guys. Whatever changes you make, you need to save them, otherwise the brush would reset to its original shape settings. The background is a bit too much and I'm going a bit crazy with the bokeh brushes, but usually what happens is you need to focus only on the areas where you see brighter colors or where you see light coming in the image. The problem with bokeh brushes is we have to apply it on the brighter areas to make it look natural, but they are only visible on darker parts because we are using a lighter color and opacity as well. Here's another one of my bokeh brushes. If you guys want, I can share the ABR files on my Patreon. So if you sign up to my Patreon, you'll get these brushes for free. Now I go to the layer styles and select lighten or screen. Either one of them work fine. It depends on what effect you want to achieve. There's very slight difference in both of these layer styles, so you can choose either one. Then I make a duplicate of it and add Gaussian blur to it, so they are not so much pronounced and look more natural. Further, we reduce the opacity and depends on our liking what we want to see in the final version. So I'm happy with this. We can go ahead with this. Now this is a bonus effect that I'm showing you. It's been shown in my other video, which I'll link it up here. Moody gradients is what I call it. You can check that video as well. The idea is very simple. You add a levels layer adjustment to the entire image, and then you make a selection which we already have of the subject and brush out details or darker parts where we want to see the light or where we expect the viewer to focus more. So in this case I want the entire kingfisher to be highlighted, but I'm thinking about the light source coming in from the top left corner, so that way I'm brushing in the shadows on the right side of the bird. We are trying to add a fake light source in the image, so we have to understand where the light comes from and how it will affect the bird and the rest of the image. Now I'm brushing out the part between the legs, which was originally missed out by me and Photoshop as well. Because we have applied layer masks, I can go back anytime add or subtract any part of the image back from our subject layer, and that is exactly what I'm trying to do here. This is not possible with Snapseed, so advantage Photoshop. I'm yet to try this in Lightroom, so if you guys have, please let me know what you think of this version versus what you do in Lightroom. Then I have inverse the selection that we have on the gradient to exclude the bird, because we don't want the entire light effect to again affect the bird. Using the gradient brush tool, I have now managed to add a gradient light effect in the background. I'm adding another levels effect to the entire image now. Now going in the drop down, selecting the blue channel, I can add some yellows to it. That way the image looks more sunny and more natural. Now you can add the same layer masks to the second levels adjustment that you have applied. That way only that part of the image gets affected which you originally tend to. The last part is adding the signature, and we are done. I've made the signature using the same brush preset process that I have showed you earlier. You can draw in any shape, make a selection on it and add it. Here's the before and after. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel. I will see you next time. Bye bye.